Hello and welcome once again. Thank you so much for joining me, Mama Titi here. It's my pleasure to be here and I'm so glad I find you here. So last week on Thriving Gen, we talked about the challenges that the teenagers and the young adults face. And we mentioned that some of these challenges that teenagers and young adults face, they impact their emotional, spiritual, physical, and social well-being. And we talked in detail about some of these challenges that they face. We talked about mental health issues, peer pressure, identity and self-esteem issues, academic pressure, social media influence, cyberbullying, family issues. We gave an example of divorce, financial constraints, bullying, body issues, substance abuse, and relationship challenges. So today we want to talk about the ways and how best can we help our youths and our challenges who are facing these challenges. How best can we help them to cope? How best can we help them to overcome? How best can we help them to face the challenges that we mentioned last? Our youths of today are the thriving generation of tomorrow. That youth of today, that teenager of today is the leader, is the parent of tomorrow. So our youths also need hope. They also need to be protected. They also need to be supported. So how best can we protect? How best can we support? How best can we help our youths to you? How best can we approach these challenges that they are facing? And almost everyone is affected or affected by what the youth of today are going through. Some are even killing themselves, and it's so heartbreaking. Let me read Psalm 147, verse 3. It says, He heals, this is God, He heals the brokenhearted and bind up their wounds. He heals the brokenhearted and He bind up their wounds. Let me read for you Psalm 6, verse 2. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am languishing and my bones are suffering. The kids of today are suffering. They are languishing. They don't want, if you talk to them, you find out that they don't want to live the life they are living. So how best can we help our community to become a better place, a better safe place for our teenagers? Number one point I'm going to talk about is always listen to understand. Always listen to understand. As a parent, as a guardian, as a member of the community, create a safe space where the teenagers feel comfortable sharing their experiences. Listen without being judgmental and let them know they are safe with you and they are not alone. Give them the assurance that you are there, not to judge them, but to listen. They are not alone. You hold their hands. Number two, encourage open communication. Encourage them to talk about their challenges openly. Create that environment that allows openness to accumulate. Bullying with the trusted adults, e.g., a parent, teacher, counselor. Let them know that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Encourage them to talk to their teachers. Encourage them to talk to the adults at home. Create that space, that environment that is conducive for them to open up. Teach assertiveness. Help them, especially the ones who are facing bullying, be it physical, emotionally, cyberbullying. Help them to build their confidence in standing for themselves in non-confrontational way. You don't want to be a parent who encourages violence. You don't want to be a parent who encourages their child to fight tooth for a tooth, eye for an eye. So you want to help your children build confidence in standing for themselves, but in a very non-confrontational way. You should teach them to be very calm and diligent in approaching such issues. Number four, in cases of bullying, If at school, teach them the importance of reporting to appropriate authorities, e.g. their teachers, their admins. If they are afraid, work with them. Work with the teenagers, with the young adults. Take the child to the teachers to report bullying. All this, if done very well, will minimize our children relying on our drugs for comfort, will minimize the chances of our children taking their own lives. Document bullying. Encourage them. Don't do it for them, but encourage them. Buy them a small book. Document bullying. Let's say it happened at school, the child has been bullying. Let the child write down who bullied them, how did they bully, where were they, who was there, what time was it, just in case if in future there is a need to report it to the law enforcement agencies or it get out of hand. So you need to document it, teach your child to document it. If you keep for them, if you teach them how to keep it, but it is very important. In case also that child does even the worst to another child, you can bring up evidence that he also did this to me on this day, this who and who were there at this particular time. Number 6, promotes positive relationship. As a parent or guardian, know your child's friends. Encourage the teenager to spend more time with supportive friends. They are friends who are supportive, who are good. You must know your children's friends and encourage them to spend time with certain friends. Encourage them to participate in activities where they feel valued and included. I have talked to teenagers whereby they loved rugby, but they ended up not playing rugby because other children were mean to them or they were not welcoming them. They were making them feel like they don't belong. So encourage them to participate in activities where they feel valued and included. Number 7, teach them safe online behavior. In case of cyberbullying, it is very important to help your children to adjust their privacy settings, to teach your children not to overshare, to withhold some of their personal information, to block bullies, not to talk back to cyberbullies. Even online bullying, it can be reported. You can report it. Teach them not to trust people they don't know, or to post or share their nudes or their pictures in an compromising positions to share with their boyfriends or girlfriends. Many children have killed themselves, even adults, because they shared their nudes with their boyfriends, with their girlfriends, and some they were on video call with their boyfriends or girlfriends, then they screenshotted them whilst they were naked or something, and then later they posted it online or used against them, and they ended up not handling it well or maybe not getting support or counseling. Then they ended up taking their own lives. So it is important to teach your children that if the challenges, number 8, if the challenges are destroying their mental health, please, please, please seek professional help. There is nothing wrong. Parents, listen. There is nothing wrong with seeking for professional help. There are therapists, there are professional counselors, there are pastors who have been trained to offer counseling. Seek for professional help. There is nothing wrong. Don't let the situation escalate. Maybe you know your limits, you can't handle it any further. Seek for professional help. It is very important. Number 9, be a role model. Charity begins at home. Show them how to handle conflicts and challenges constructively. Charity begins at home. At home, you must teach them. They must learn from you. So if at home you are the bully, it is difficult for that child to be helped or not to become a bully themselves. Charity begins at home. If there is a parent listening here, it is very important how you conduct yourself. Teach them for what you do, not what you say. Children, they copy what we do most of the times. Number 10, for teenagers using drugs, I have met many teenagers who are drug addicts. Yo, it's so heartbreaking. For teenagers who are using drugs, encourage also open communication, listening attentively and with understanding. Understand the root cause, understand their feelings, understand the reason why they started using drugs, why they started smoking marijuana. Avoid criticism or blame, as this can cause them to shut down, and they do shut down. The drug addicts are even worse. They will shut down on you. So I avoid judging them. I avoid criticizing them. They will shut down on you, and I promise you. So number 11, if you're trying to help someone who is using drugs, please try to educate yourself first. This is important about the substance they are using. You have knowledge about its effects, understand the risks, signs, and symptoms. This can help you to have informed discussions and provide appropriate support. If you are helping someone in a certain area, number one, make sure you are very, very, very well informed. You don't want to mislead someone. You don't want to say or do things you are not supposed to say in that particular scenario because you don't have knowledge, you don't have wisdom. So, in as much as you pray about it, also make sure you have enough knowledge. If you don't have, refer that person to someone who has knowledge, or talk to someone who has knowledge so that they can inform you in case whereby the person who is under the influence of drugs is not trusting anyone. They have trusted you, of which trust is a very big step. Maybe they have trusted you. So seek knowledge, seek wisdom, so that you can help them well and provide appropriate support. Number 12, encourage a professional help. Suggest an addiction specialist. In cases whereby you are dealing with drug addicts, please suggest a specialist in that particular area. Professionals, they help with necessary ways to address underlying issues and to provide a treatment plan. Even if someone is withdrawing from smoking, you need to have wisdom on how to support them and help them. I did this with my husband when we stopped smoking. We had to find support and have knowledge on how to deal with the withdrawal symptoms, how to deal with the triggers and everything. Number 13, if someone is also trying to fight an addiction, encourage them to have distractions like spending time with supportive friends. Encourage them to spend time with positive, supportive friends and avoid peer pressure. There are friends who are good at forcing other people to do things they don't want to do. Encourage them to have hobbies, to start playing cricket, to start playing football, even just for fun. Encourage them to have hobbies, to start playing chess. Let's have them something that is stealing their time. That time they should be focusing on drugs. Even PlayStation, encourage them to play games. Just encourage them to have a hobby. As I go to number 14, most people who are using substance, you have underlying issues that needs to be addressed, like depression, trauma from sexual or physical abuse, or something else, even anxiety. So sometimes before you even bring the word of God to the person, number one, make sure you are understanding where they are coming from. Make sure you are understanding what made them to be who they are. Understand their childhood experiences. Understand what affected them. Maybe there was no one. Maybe they didn't have support. Some people don't know how to handle sexual abuse. They don't know how to handle rejection. Then they ended up smoking. So you need wisdom on how to handle such issues, on how to confront such people when you are talking to them. understand where they are coming from, understand the root cause of everything. Don't just throw scriptures at them. Don't just throw inspirational words. First understand, because you have to deal with the root cause. What caused them to be like this? Deal with the root cause first before you start helping them. So I'll continue in the next video. We still have about 10 points to talk about.